yeah. Love is a war zone. Love is a war zone.
Okay, welcome back to Small Talk. Today we have Keonté Beals, singer, songwriter, entertainer from North Preston, Nova Scotia. How are you, Keonté?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Not too bad.
Good.
So let's start off with something that I saw about you. It was your Instagram story about your car accident, and then when I saw that, I was like, wow, that was a pretty good story. I've never seen.
Thank you.
So I don't really look at Instagram stories, but I saw yours. I was like, oh, I might as well, give it a little peek. And I didn't expect that level of, I don't know how to phrase it exactly, but intensity. It was a really powerful message. How
Thank you.
actually, if for people who don't know, could you explain kind of what happened exactly?
Yeah. Well, I was rear-ended at a stop sign in Halifax. This was 1:18 a.m. In the night. We were just leaving the show, and the guy, I guess he was picking up a cigarette off of his car floor, and he was going full speed. Bang! He came out of nowhere. So anyway, the next day, I started to feel the aftermath of that. I started to feel really stiff in my shoulders and my neck and my back. Went to get checked out. Minor injuries, but I could get things healed, I guess, by doing physiotherapy. So I did that for a couple months, and yeah, that's where I am.
So after that, where are you at now? I know that dancing is definitely one thing that you really love to do.
Yeah.
So are you able to kind of dance without suffering, feeling really sore the next day, or?
Yeah, honestly, it's sometimes I have good days and bad days. I just did a show the other day, Trunk 7 Music Festival, and afterwards my body was good. I definitely took a break, but it wasn't bad. In that post I spoke about the ANSMA Awards, doing that show, and then the aftermath of that was probably one of the worst. I was stuck in the bed for the day, but it gets better. Mm-hmm. Every day it gets better and better. The more I keep working, I train every single day, and yeah.
Well, that's really good to hear, because especially after going from one big show and kind of coming back, I saw it almost like a redemption arc, even though you're not really redeeming yourself, but
Yeah.
And then you're bedridden the next day. It felt like a mini movie. I was like, wow. So it's good to hear that you're still at it. It's not causing you that many problems by the sounds of it.
Yeah. Thank you.
So, if you had to choose whether or not to keep on dancing for the rest of your life or keep on singing for the rest of your life,
oh, you went there.
Only one.
I think I know the answer.
Only one. I think I would sing.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. I definitely would sing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But you never know. Honestly, when you get old and all crunched up, it's gonna be hard to move and dance. So
you can only do it for so long, right?
Yeah.
You can only do dancing for so long. You can sing for your whole life if you take care of your voice. So I would sing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So speaking of the Trunk 7, so what was it called again? Trunk 7?
Trunk 7 Music Festival.
Music Festival. Yeah. So how was that?
That was really good.
Really?
Yeah, it was really good. It was definitely one of our best to date. It was really good energy, and personally, I just had to say it. Shout out to the crew there. Mm-hmm. They were probably one of the best that I've worked with for a major festival yet. But it was great. It was an amazing weekend, and I'm really glad that I did it.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
So what makes a good festival for you?
What makes a good festival? Well, the crew, number one for me. The audience got to be in tune, but mostly I feel like with festivals, especially the larger festivals, the audience is usually in tune and in sync with the whole move. Definitely the great set times, which is, I guess, iffy, because sometimes you can get a 12 p.m. slot, which on a Thursday or something like that. That's a horrible time. Mm-hmm. But you take those opportunities. Yeah, so for me, that's it. The audience, the crew, and I guess the performers.
Okay.
Do you find that like your energy on stage depends on like the audience or something?
When I first started, it did. And I would say that a lot. I would say that, of course, as a performer, you feed off the energy of the crowd, and I still do that now. But if the energy in the crowd is dead, I still perform the same way as if it was live. And I think that's something that, as a performer, you have to just kind of practice. You have to, because sometimes we can get in our own head. It's like, oh, they don't like me. They don't like me. That's why they're not moving. And then you do a show and you finish the show and people are coming up to you like, oh my God, that was amazing. But they were like this the whole time, right?
Yeah.
So you don't know.
Yeah.
You really don't know who you're going to touch. Honestly, for me, as long as I can touch one person in that audience, I've done my job.
Yeah, because I always find ballads are hard to get like a reaction or
Yeah.
something. You don't know if they're into it or
Yeah. It's a slower tune. But as long as you touch that one person, for me at least, I did my job.
Okay.
Yeah.
So would you say it's kind of like almost like a mind game where you look for the audience reaction, but they enjoy it in their own way, which is sometimes they just sit there and they don't do much.
Yep.
So how do you go in like that every time now where you're just like, oh, it doesn't quite matter how they look on the outside because on the inside it could be different. So is that why you kind of always give it 100%?
Yeah. That, and I think it's just about building your mentality as a performer, period. It's almost like you have to be overconfident on the stage to kind of compensate for the fact that you're not really that confident about what's going on.
Okay.
And that really does take like a lot of time. I remember I did another festival and I'd say it was not my best performance, but a lot of people did feel it. But it wasn't my best performance in my mind because of the reaction of the crowd, not because of how I did on the stage. So now it's more of judging it by how we did on the stage rather than the crowd's reaction.
Okay.
You feel me? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if I see video footage and I feel like we did all right, then that was good for me. That's good. Yeah.
Okay.
Do you find it hard looking at yourself singing or performing?
Oh my God, I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I don't like listening to my speaking voice. I don't like listening, seeing myself. No.
It's the worst feeling ever.
Yeah.
But you just have to get past it.
Yeah, you really do.
Okay. So do you dock points off yourself when you see yourself perform? Kind of like if it was someone else doing the exact same things as you, they would get a higher grade just because you're self-critical almost?
Big time. I am my own worst critic, like big time. It's only taken me probably like the last maybe 3 performances that I did to really get to the space of being like, okay, Keonté, you can't be so hard. I used to be so hard on myself. Like I would, but it's just because I cared so much. So after a show, I would go home and I would cry because I'm like, no, I did terrible. And everybody's coming up and saying, yeah, you did amazing, all that stuff. My parents were telling me like it is, you did amazing, whatever the case may be, it didn't matter. I would still feel like I did terrible all the time. Sometimes I don't even know how I'm still doing it because I put myself through hell, really. But no, yeah, I definitely do that. Dock a lot of points off. Yeah.
Like it seems like that's almost I wouldn't say universal, but it seems really common with artists.
Yeah.
Where they're so self-critical. Like why do you think that is?
I think it's honestly just because we care so much. Artists are really sensitive anyway, that's why we're able to create the art and stuff. But I think that we just really care. We put a lot of work and effort into something. And then when something feels like that work isn't paying off, I think that's when you start really just being too critical on yourself. Like the audience not doing anything when you're singing a ballad or anything like that. I think something like that. I'm good, how are you?
We're running over for a few minutes, but do you have your key up here?
Yeah. Yeah.
Get your key. One of you get the key, right?
Yeah, I have mine.
Okay, just want to make sure, because I won't go on too, but he'll be
Oh, it's
back
gone
too.
too?
Alright.
Are you getting lunch?
No, we're not going for lunch.
You're so good for lunch.
If so, I'll call back on the office if we change our mind, okay?
Oh, okay.
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 Alright. I forgot.
Sorry about that. So
Would be Miss Judy, by the way.
so not creative. I'm sorry. Like whenever like there's an interruption,
Oh, I feel you.
I get unhypnotized or something like that.
I feel you.
Oh my gosh, what we were talking about. You said you were talking about your parents and
Being self-critical, a lot of artists are like that
Yeah.
because artists care so much about the work that they do.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh man, I hope that's eligible. Probably.
I'm just gonna change the subject.
Okay.
So, yeah. So I heard that you've been singing since you were 7 years old.
Yeah.
Like what was it like growing up, like loving the art and music? Like, did you go around the house like, I don't know, singing with a little microphone or something? Like,
Yeah. See, my story was a little. I mean, I wouldn't even say a little bit different. I think other people may have this story too, but I called myself a closet singer because
Yeah.
nobody knew I could sing until I was like 12, 13, other than one other person in my family who's like a sister to me. But so when I was like 6, 7 years old, I would always talk about singing and stuff, and I would do it when I was alone, but I wouldn't sing when anyone else was around. So I always spoke about joining the junior choir in St. Thomas Baptist Church, my home church. And my parents were like, "You don't even sing," that type of thing. And I would just kind of let it go, like I wouldn't say anything, but eventually they let me join.
the junior choir.
Yes.
Yeah.
But one day I was in my parents' van, and there was this gospel song. I don't even remember what song it was, but I was like belting it at the top of my voice. And this was like nighttime. I didn't think anyone was around. And my cousin came out, and he's a singer as well, Just Chase.
Okay.
Yeah, and he came out, and he was like, and he snuck up on me. He's like, "You can really sing, man." And I'm like, I was just so
Coming from
I was
him.
distraught.
Yeah.
I was just distraught. I was like, "Oh my God, someone heard me singing." Like I just felt like just being gone. Yeah, I was really shy.
Yeah. So, like, I know you grew up in the North Preston church. So, are there any influences within the church?
Yeah, the church itself is my biggest influence. There's so many musical people there. Everybody already knows them. So there was something gave me a lift every time I heard the people in the choir sing, the musicians playing, and that is really my biggest inspiration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
So back to when you got caught singing.
Oh my.
So you said it was, well, you were distraught because you didn't expect anyone to be around.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, were you kind of almost like happy that you got caught by someone who was a singer who was like, "Hey, no, that's actually pretty good"?
Nope.
No?
Nope. I was not happy at all. I was not happy. No, I was not happy. I don't think I said anything to him for a while after that, because I was just like, he knows I sing, he heard me. It's all over. I don't even know what I was thinking. I know. I don't know what. Listen, you guys, like when I say I was shy, like I didn't say anything to anybody. So for somebody to see me in that like vulnerable state, I guess it felt like a vulnerable state.
Yeah.
It was like they opened me up and seen everything at that time, right? Yeah, it was not good.
So you say that generally you're a shy person. So how does that switch on stage? Because you don't look like a shy person on stage.
Thank you. You know what? I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not someone who, I don't get excited or nervous for anything until literally seconds before I get ready to walk on the stage. And I'm like, I'm not doing it. I'm not going with it. I'm not doing it. I'm not going. But nobody knows. It's all in my head, right? I'm just standing there. It's like all these things are going through my head. soon as I hear the intro stop and I know I'm supposed to walk out, it all goes away, and I don't even know. I kind of blink out. But it feels great. I remember the feeling always. Yeah.
Is it like the first few seconds of the song? Like I know of coming from my experience, like the first few notes, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I gotta get this out. And once you're in there, you're like, oh, I'm good. Like
It's not even so much that, like, it's literally like a couple seconds before walking out onto the stage. Like, I don't even have to sing. Like, I can go, once I get to the stage or where I'm supposed to sing, it all just goes away without even saying anything. Addressing the crowd, anything, it's just gone. Yeah, I don't feel anything but other than happiness.
So with that, I'm guessing that's kind of like your current feeling about it now, but was that it earlier on, kind of like when you're first starting out with the choir or something like your earlier shows and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Was that still the same thing where you just walk on and then all the nervousness just gone?
Yeah, most of the time, yeah. I can't remember really ever being nervous for something coming up. Like, I have no memories of that. I think it's always been the same way.
Wow.
Yeah, right from the beginning. Yeah.
What do you think that is? Is it kind of like, maybe not a natural instinct, but it's just like, this is where you're supposed to be, so it's fine?
I don't know. Honestly, I really don't know. I have no clue. I have no clue at all. I know that I don't get excited for things because I guess I've had the feeling of not wanting to be excited and being let down. So I think that there was a few things in my life that has been the case. And so maybe as a child, I think that I kind of linked that to my performance life as well. So I don't get excited because I don't want the letdown to come. Yeah, I think that's it for exciting.
Yeah, so how would you explain or describe your music style?
That's a hard question. Well, I guess it's always based in gospel music, or at least that's like the underbelly of it, the foundation of it. But honestly, I draw influences from everywhere. I like every genre of music except for heavy metal. I just can't get it. I can't get it, you know? But I love every genre besides that. And I kind of draw influences from all of those. Like, I love country music. I love even EDM music. I'm really getting into like Afrobeat, like love, and all that stuff. I love it all.
That's really good.
Yeah.
So who are your favorite artists?
Who are my favorite artists? Okay, well, my all-time favorites are Michael Jackson and Whitney Houston. But like, I guess my favorites now, like, I love, oh my goodness, so hard. Elijah Blake, he's one of my favorite songwriters. Janelle Monáe is amazing. Of course, everybody loves Beyonce, especially the movement she's doing now. Yeah. And I love Usher too. Usher. You know what? I'm just gonna keep going on if you don't stop because there's too many.
You name those people because I sort of see that in your performances, or just like the way you present that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Especially like because like you're a singer and dancer, it kind of makes sense. Like Beyonce, that's her thing. Well, at least that's how I know her.
Yeah.
Usher, same thing.
Yeah.
So do you have any not songwriters but dancers that kind of stick out that you're like, oh man, that was a really cool move? I'm guessing Michael Jackson's also up there.
Yeah. He's definitely one. But you know what though? I really like the way Chris Brown moves.
I knew you were gonna say Chris Brown.
Yeah, he's one of that. I was gonna name him next before I stopped myself. But he's the way he moves. I've never seen anybody else move like that in my life, personally. Like, and people are like, you know, he reminds me of Michael type thing, but he just has his own, like, he just has his own, you know? He, of course, is influenced by him, so, you know, you can see that, but he has his own. So he's, like, one of my favorites.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you find it difficult to go from to sing and dance at the same time for the first few times? Because it seems like something. Well, okay, singing obviously it takes a lot of energy to do that, and then to add dancing on top of that, and to sing and dance at the same time without having your voice get all messed up. Like how did you do it? basically?
Yeah, I'm laughing because whew, that was a hard struggle. In the beginning, I don't know. I guess I kind of just I rehearse a lot. So like when I'm doing something, I can rehearse like 3 weeks in advance to a show, and I mean that's like every day for like 3 hours a day, just nonstop, no breaks, barely any water breaks, just straight. So that's kind of what I've been doing, period. Especially when I first started, it was just really about getting that breath control, and I started to study how runners kind of control their breath and stuff like that, and that really helped. But yeah, so it's just a lot of, for me in the beginning, it was a lot of research on some athletes and stuff and how they use breathing techniques to kind of do their thing. And I kind of implemented that into my performance, and yeah, that's where I went.
That kind of makes sense actually, because thinking about it, dancing it's basically a sport.
Yeah.
So why not look at like other athletes where maybe it's not like the same movements, but like breathing is really important along with singing and dancing. Okay.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, so it was like taking breath control with singing and mixing it with movement, I guess. Moving a lot, yeah.
So you went through kind of your practice process. What is your writing process?
Yeah, my writing process. Well, there's two different versions. I tell everybody. First one I'm embarrassed about, but it's okay. I do have like a space in my room, studio space. It's soundproofed and all of that. So I write in there alone, and I will have like a candle lit, and that whole type of thing. And then my second one is if I'm doing like a collaboration or a co-write, then it'll just be kind of in the studio. I'll throw in ideas back and forth, and yeah, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
So with the candlelit, is that kind of like not part of the process, but it's kind of like part of getting you in that mind space?
Yeah, absolutely. Lights are off, like that whole mood. Yeah, it's just about getting into it. And of course, it depends on what I'm writing as well. If I'm writing something more upbeat, my window's open, the sun's coming through. I'm standing and I'm kind of moving along with the groove. A ballad, I might have like a stool that I'm sitting on. I just really like to create, I guess, that atmosphere that you would get if I was live. And the lights are on you, the room is dark. You're on the stool, you're singing the ballad. Sometimes you may be standing up, that type of thing. I just like to get a live feel in the studio as best as I can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you find that there's a certain time of day to do it? Like, are you someone that writes like late at night, 3 a.m., or like is it really early in the morning, or?
It kind of differs. I don't really have a specific time. I have a specific time that I like to sing for sure, and 5 a.m. is not it. No. But so like I typically do a lot of my writing, I'd say in the evening.
Okay.
Yeah, because I do like business as well, so I usually do that kind of stuff. My mind is functioning for that in the morning, and so when I get to write, it's usually in the evening anyway. So
Okay.
yeah.
This might be a weird question, but do you find it easier to write when you're hungry or on a full stomach?
Oh my god, I never been asked that question before. Hungry on a full. Maybe hungry.
Okay.
Maybe hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I can see that. I don't know why, but I feel like when you're hungry, it's not like you want to do something else, but you're like, I can do this, because once you eat, then you're like, no, I just want
Yeah.
to lay
You
back
get the
and chill a
itis,
little
I'm telling you, you start falling asleep.
Yeah.
You don't want to do anything, you start, no, yeah.
I kind of feel if you're hungry, and if you're past the point when you're hungry, you're like, whoa, all already waited this long. I can do this.
Right.
I can do that.
Right. Yeah. And so like when I'm in the studio working or whatever, and like food's out there ready for everybody, I won't eat until the thing is done. Yeah.
So, one last bit.
Yeah.
So, do you have like when like for the videos that you put out, how do you rehearse the dance parts?
How do I rehearse them? Well, I have like a space just with like a mirror, full body mirror that I can see myself in. And honestly, that's just kind of how I do it. As much as I don't like looking at myself like that, I have to do it because you want to make it right. You want to, I guess, rehearse. I think it's about the persona as well as the dance moves, and that comes with live as well. It's about the show and how you put on the show more than this note you hit or this dance move that you hit. I feel like it's the personality we're going to bring all of that anyway. So I kind of try to work on that a lot. And I did a lot of work on just my on-stage persona. So I kind of implement that into that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so right now you're a member of ANSMA. How long have you been involved with ANSMA?
Maybe since like 2014, 2015. Yeah.
How did you find out about ANSMA?
I always knew about them just because of all the musical people that came from North Preston. So I always knew that they were there, and we would go to shows all the time to see them play because a lot of them are family members of mine. So I always knew about them. It was just a matter of time for me to, I guess, become a member.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So about ANSMA, do you have any memorable performances while performing at their shows or events?
I don't know. I think last year was a good memory for their Natal Day festival. What is it? The Freedom Festival.
Yeah.
Freedom Festival. We got to headline it last year, which was a blessing. Really grateful for that. I think they gave us a good platform to kind of showcase what I was on, or I guess my new stage look.
Yeah.
Yeah, they gave us a good platform for that, so I'm grateful. That was a good memory for me.
That's cool.
Your new stage look?
Yeah. I think for years, this just led into another thing. I think for years, I kind of listened to what other people told me to do rather than doing what I wanted to do. And because I was so young in the industry anyway, it was easy for me to be like, okay, they know what they're talking about. I should be doing this. I should be following this person and what they're doing and kind of the path that they're leading rather than me actually doing what I know I wanted to do. The things that I'm doing now in my career period, even just with charity and all that stuff, is things that I wanted to do since I was younger and didn't even, I guess, almost know that I really would be doing them. And now I'm finally doing them. I'm saying no to the things that I don't want to do and really aren't passionate about.
Yeah.
Whereas before I would just do them anyway, just because someone told me I should, or whatever the case may be. And I've just been doing like a lot of self-reflecting and learning to love myself more. And that's been helping a lot with career for me.
Did you find it difficult to find that balance between, okay, this person right now, they're giving me advice versus they're trying to take a little bit too much control with your career?
Yeah, that was a difficult one for me because a lot of the people who were giving me the advice was family. Because a lot of my family's in the industry, period. So a lot of them are family, literal aunts and uncles, it's almost like, how in the world am I going to say that to my aunt and my uncle at that time? Now I can. So it was a lot of that. It made it more difficult because it was family, I think. Yeah.
Okay. But at this point, I'm guessing you feel a little bit more comfortable. You're in your own. So has the music career been everything that you expected and wanted to when you were give or take 14? That's when you were like, this is what you wanted to do.
Yes and no. I think when I was younger, I was definitely, I mean, we all are really naive to the fact of how the industry is, and how it rolls, how fickle it can be at times. And I was really naive. I can remember doing an interview. I don't remember. I was younger in the industry, and I was talking about. They asked me about the industry around here. You know, the Nova Scotia, the local industry, and I was like, "Oh, it's great. Everybody's so great. Everybody's on your side. You know, all the artists are friends, and this type of thing." Totally not the case at all, at all. And yeah, I was just really naive to it, but. It is, as far as now that I'm doing everything that I want to do, it's kind of like almost living in deja vu because I feel like I've been here before in my mind.
Whoa.
It's crazy how the industry here is. I find that the music industry here is growing, especially for the Black community as well.
Oof, yes, it is, sure is.
It's crazy how, like, even this year, like, a lot of people are coming out, and they're like super young, so
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah. It's been great to see the growth in just all the other younger artists. Like when I started doing it, it wasn't many people like around my age category that was doing it.
Yeah.
Now that I'm thinking about it, even now there is, but I feel like they're new. Like when I first started, they weren't doing anything. It's now that they're coming out and doing their thing, and I love it.
That is great.
Yeah.
What is some advice that you would give to someone just starting out around your age, trying to do music and dancing, trying to do the whole 9 yards, put it all together?
Around my age,
Yeah.
like right now, that's a big one. I don't know. I guess my advice to anybody in the industry would just be kind of to follow your own vision, and just to kind of really be yourself. Like, I mean, fully be yourself. And the people that rock with you will rock with you. You know, you'll get a real, true, authentic fan base by doing it that way, instead of faking it and then, I guess, not getting the fan base and not being happy, not being true to yourself. Yeah, it's not even worth it. Like, it's not even worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've been there and done that, so I can say that for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
So I hear that you have an album coming out soon.
Coming out.
right?
Yeah.
So, you know, do you have a date yet? Or...
No, I'm terrible with that stuff.
Yeah.
No date. There's no date, but the fall, for sure. The
Yeah.
fall.
That's
Yeah.
the fall.
Has no choice but to be the fall.
So would you say it's at past 80% done, or is it completely done? You're just like, am I ready for it?
It's not done. We're in the stages of recording still some of the songs.
That's good.
Yeah, but we have like a million songs to choose from.
Oh, you didn't choose them yet?
No, we didn't choose the songs yet for sure. There's like a million of them to choose from.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it'd be the fall. I'll put my foot down. It's the fall.
That's the hardest part. You know, you want
Yes,
to put
it
all
is.
of them in there, but
Yeah.
I mean, double album. Just saying.
Right.
or quadruple.
Right. So yeah, that's the hardest part, and the fall.
Yeah.
Is there like a concept behind it, or is it just, do you have an idea of how you want to present it?
I do, and at the same time, I don't. I think that's kind of why we haven't chosen specific songs too. I know that I'm somebody who likes to operate on their gut feeling. So if something doesn't give me a gut feeling, and I hate when that happens, it's difficult to kind of make that decision. But I know the direction I want it to lead into, just because I know that since last year I've really been coming into my own, like we were just talking about, and I know what I want sonically for it.
Yeah.
It's just about choosing the right flow and story with all of the tunes that we have, because yeah, it's a lot of them. So
Okay.
yeah.
So I'm gonna guess like when you write a song, or when you have like a melody in your mind or something that you just have to like get out, does that usually, do you see like the concept or the idea first and then you put it out, or does it just kind of flow into a final piece, if that makes sense?
Yeah. You mean like right from the beginning of the writing process or
Yeah.
anything? Yeah. Sometimes I can see something in my head. Sometimes I've written songs in 10, 15 minutes without having any kind of concept in my head.
So when you go into making your album,
Mhm.
you don't have a name, right?
Absolutely not.
You don't, do you have a specific theme that you want to follow before you write the songs, or like, do you pick your few songs and then you sort of think of what type of theme they represent, and then you just like name your album based on that?
Now it's more of just letting it flow. So once I get the music, once I find out the story that I really want to tell, the name will come. Like I have a few names in my mind that I think would cover the whole thing. But I'm just gonna let it flow. The first project I definitely was like, this is what I want, like this sound, this feel, this is gonna be the name. I mean it was self-titled, so it didn't really have a name. But this is what it's gonna be. Whereas this one is a little different for me. Yeah, so the process has to be different as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, out of all of the songs, out of all of the performances, what is something in your whole career, like the top 3 moments that just stick out, whether it's recording, performing, anything, that you'll always remember?
Top 3 moments. Definitely that first solo in church. Of course, I guess I can't say that. Well, that was a career move for me, I think. Yeah. That first solo in church, never forget that. My first full festival performance, that was for the Prismatic Arts Festival, and that was my first festival performance ever. And then last year, finally deciding to follow my own heart and goals and dream. Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, what was that song during your first solo in church?
My first solo. Guess what? It's so hard for me to think of. Every time someone asks me that song, because there's 2 of them. It's a Marvin Sapp song. It's so bad I can't even remember the song. I never could. It's a Marvin Sapp song though. I'm not even gonna be able to remember it right now.
I can always remember mine because I remember I sang like the same songs over and over. And
I
over
remember
again.
too.
But yeah, that's crazy.
Yes, yep, I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't believe I can't remember the name. Can you guys believe I've never ever been able to remember the name?
I mean, you remember the
It was
artist.
a Marvin Sapp song.
It was a Marvin Sapp. It wasn't Never Could Have Made It.
I know, I was gonna say that.
But that's the one I'm like, it's not never. I don't know, man. A lot of people don't know the song. My Testimony. That's what it's called.
Testimony. Oh.
Yes, that's what it's called. First time for me to remember it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it's called. My Testimony.
How old were you?
I was like 15, 16.
15, 16?
Yeah, 15, 16. Yeah. Yeah.
So were you,
Oh no, go for it.
so were you in the junior choir or the BYF?
By then I was in the BYF. I never sang solo in the junior choir. I was still a closet singer.
For those who don't sing, what's the BYF?
The Baptist Youth Fellowship.
Okay,
So that's
okay.
like 13 and up, 13 to 30 years old.
Okay. 13 to 30?
Yeah.
Can 13-year-olds really like hang in there with everyone else?
Well, technically you're youth up until you're 30.
30 years old, yeah. That's why it's up to 30.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's not really, I mean, they're they're in there, but you got the choice to be just a part of the group or a part of the group and the choir. So not everybody's a part of the choir.
Oh, okay, okay.
Not everybody sings. So, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Do we have any more?
Here's one. So, how do you get through writer's block?
Oh my goodness, it's the worst. It is the worst. I've had it, not now, but I mean I've had it before for like maybe like 2-3 months, like a long writer's block. How do I get out of it? I took somebody's advice, and this is somebody's advice on YouTube. Don't remember the guy's name, but it was just about going out and living. Instead of being in that room, locking yourself in that room, trying to force yourself to write, go out and live, and it'll kind of just flow from those experiences. And back then, I was for sure somebody who kind of just went by, like I said, like what everybody else wanted me to do. So it was like I didn't go to like the parties that much. I didn't do all of that stuff. I was kind of stuck in this thing of being that good church boy. I didn't allow myself to live like I should have. And so I think that's why I was experiencing some of the blocks that I did around that time. I was kind of putting myself in that box that everyone else put me into, and that was the outcome. Yeah.
So to add to that, do you find that like sometimes you'll have melodies in your head or some lyrics that will come to mind that like you're like, oh my gosh, that's like those are great lines, like I gotta write that down or something. Do you find?
Yeah,
that
I have a
happens?
million of them in my phone. And because sometimes I'm like, I'll go back and I'll listen to them, and it'll be horrible. And it won't go nowhere. It'll stay in the phone or be deleted. But yeah, that happens all the time, often. And not just with like melodies and stuff like that, but also just with like looks and things I want to do on stage. Like seeing people, the movement of people, I'm just going to say an example, on the bus.
Yeah.
When the bus is moving, when people are standing up, there's too many seats taken, and some people got to stand up. The way the bus moves, and it causes the people to kind of shake a little bit. Like that's like a move in general, a feeling, and you can see something like that and really turn it to something on stage. And I've done that so many times. Yeah.
So, I've never thought of dancing like this, where you see something and you're like, oh, let me try to kind of like tweak it to make it more appealing in a dance.
Yeah.
So, what makes a dance move appealing to you, where you're like, oh, that was really cool, I want to use that, or maybe not that one? So how do you judge dance moves, really?
Yeah. For me, period, I kind of move off of just the emotion of something. So I can see dance moves, and it can just be a dance move. And if it doesn't feel like there's an emotion behind it, for me, I won't get connected to it. And that's with everything, period, for me. So I don't even know, like even when I'm choreographing routines for live show, I just put on the music, whatever I'm doing it to. If it's my tune, okay, cool. Let it play, and just kind of almost like it's freestyling, just dancing. When I get something that I really like, I keep it. And it's really just moving off of what I feel, like what feels right to be moving. Like, I don't know. Yeah, that's kind of just the way it is for me. Yeah.
Yeah, so I noticed that I was just about to ask you that. I noticed that you posted Instagram videos of yourself dancing. So those videos, they're not really choreographed. They're just you freestyling.
They are ish, but it literally happens like maybe a couple of minutes before we actually went to shoot the video. Like I may wake up one morning, like I did the Beyonce challenge, and I just woke up that day and just put the song on. I literally didn't do anything. This is probably
Yeah, keep on going.
this is
Yeah.
probably too much information, but I literally didn't do anything. Like I just got up and put the song on and just started doing it right there. And then like a couple of minutes after that, after I really got the hang of it, because that was, the day where it was hard for me physically. And we kind of shot it that day, got to the space to do it, forgot some of the dance steps,
Yeah.
which happens often, especially when it's last minute like that, and just kind of fill it in freestyle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I noticed that you're doing those frequently.
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah.
everybody's liking them.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It feels like a lot of stuff that I'm doing now, period, that people are liking, which feels good because
Yeah.
it's what I want to do for forever, and held myself back because I was told so many times that it's not a thing for me. So
yeah.
yeah.
I would say out of all of them, my favorite is definitely the Old Town Road one.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
Oh,
Yeah, and that one was really for sure just freestyle. That was not, of course, you can look at that and
Yeah.
see. We didn't do much
But
much dancing.
it was a fun video.
Yeah, and we just wanted to like kind of get together and show people that whatever is going on in the world today, because there's so much going on, that you really can come together and just do something fun. Literally, that was just for fun. Like we didn't do anything. We got there, got the costumes and stuff, and just did it.
The costumes and the horses.
Yeah, and the horses.
Real authentic
Yeah.
horses.
Yeah.
That was my favorite touch on that.
Thank you. Yeah, that was a lot of fun shooting that video. It was hot.
And I know you did the one with Beyonce before I let go, and you did one with the classified one. Was it?
Yeah. She ain't got to do much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that one. That one was really good.
Yeah, that one was a lot filming because we were in the country filming, up home. The
Yeah.
black flies were eating us right up.
Oh gosh.
When we were doing the moves and stuff, like half the time I was like swatting the flies away while I was doing the moves.
It wasn't the moves,
certain
you were
moves.
just-
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, literally, like I was swatting. I'm telling you, if you look at the video, like I was really swatting the flies away.
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
We just kind of made it instead of being like it was like, So yeah, it was fun though.
So I'm guessing you probably have like some sort of plan to like keep on putting out dance videos, I'm guessing, and maybe some singing videos, some more music videos coming out, maybe a little bit more behind the scenes.
Yeah.
I remember seeing, I don't know if you called it a behind the scenes or documentary, but for Man Down,
Yeah.
and like listening to the song and then going to see like the process behind it, it's kind of like it makes you appreciate the song so much more, and I really like especially when artists do something like that, they put out their art and then they're like, here is how we got to that point.
Yeah. Definitely doing a lot of that. I don't want to say too much of it, but working on something that's really exciting. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say for that. But I really like film and stuff like that as well. So we're definitely mixing a lot of that into what I'm doing now. So you're gonna be able to see a lot of the behind the scenes, a lot of stuff, how we put the show together and all that stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, before we talked about a lot of talent here in Nova Scotia, so are there any artists here that you would like to collaborate with, or that kind of stuck out to you, like?
I'd like to collaborate with, who I obviously already haven't. I don't know. Maybe Classified. I think I would collaborate with him musically in the studio for sure. Because I've done just some videos and stuff with him. But I think I would for sure collaborate with him. I'm trying to think of some others. No. That's probably it for me right now that I can think of.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you were 14, was that when you were like, I want to do this as a living?
Yeah, like when I was around 13, 14. Yeah, that's when I really made the choice of I'm doing this, and my parents weren't they weren't like, oh yes, you do it, right away, because I just had posted like my first video on Facebook type thing, and I was still developing vocally, and this was me first really just coming out about singing and stuff like that, and so they were just like, he's just going through a phase type thing. It wasn't until releasing like I'm Here and the Angel video where they really was like, okay, I think he really wants to do this, people are really liking it, and they've been behind me ever since.
Wow, that's good to know that like they're like, it's just a phase, but then when
Yeah.
they see like your effort going in, they're like, okay, no, he's actually serious.
Yeah, and I didn't really look into that, to be honest. I think I'm just having that moment now, but I didn't really look into that moment to see that really, like, that's kind of what it is, even right now, where people didn't get it, like, don't get what you're saying, and they're like, nah, it's not, this is a phase, or you might be going through something, let's not do it, to where I just have to do it myself and show them, and then they start believing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that probably taught me that at a young age, and I didn't really notice it.
So at that point, did you really have like a why you wanted to do it, or was it just singing is fun, so I'm going to do it for my whole entire life?
Yeah, at that time, I definitely loved to sing. I loved the vision of performing. I saw Thriller at a young age, Michael Jackson, and the dance moves and all that, so that was in my head for years. But yeah, I think that one thing that I've always said and always wanted was that I didn't want my parents to worry about anything. Ever. I wanted to be able to give them everything that they wanted when they stopped working and stuff like that. And don't get me wrong, my parents for sure right now they can do that for themselves. But I wanted to make sure that when they get older that they'll be taken care of, for sure.
So out of all the things, it wasn't money for you, fame, notoriety,
No.
being popular. It was just taking care of your parents.
It was taking care of my parents and just the love of performance, period.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a pretty noble thing. Like I imagine that like a lot of people feel like that, but it's never up there. It's never like number one. It's always like maybe number 3, number 4.
Yeah. Yeah, I think for my whole life, I've kind of put other people's feelings ahead of mine, and so that was just something natural for me to do, to feel like I want to make sure that they're good, and then I'll make sure that I'm good too, type thing, and that's been the case for my whole life, and still battling with that actually, about choosing myself over somebody else, still in that battle with myself. So.
It's very good. So, do you have anything else to add?
I mean, I'm kind of speechless at this point. Like that,
Yeah.
especially that last answer. That I don't know, like it. Like I remember when I was younger and I was thinking, man, wouldn't it be great to be famous or have a lot of money? And then it was, for me, it was never like number 1 or number 2. It was like, and then I'll take care of my parents. But for you, it's like that's the goal.
It's number 1.
Yeah. I was kind of taken back by that. But like I understand like the love of performance. That makes sense. Like I hope you love it. You're out there a lot.
Oh
so.
yeah, I do a lot, a lot. Yeah, and I told my parents that actually, at a young age. I told them that. Yeah.
How did they take it? Were they like, yeah, sure,
It
okay,
was-
Keonté? Or they like,
It was kind of ish like that, but they were like, "Oh, I guess I'm happy. Oh my God, I guess I'm happy." So you can send the money home, that type of thing. I don't really know how they really felt about it, But yeah, I definitely told them that at a young age.
Mhm.
Yeah, still feel that way.
Yeah. They still go to your performances a lot.
Every
don't
single
they?
one.
Every single
Every
one.
single
Unless they really can't be there.
That's amazing.
Every single one.
Yeah.
They won't miss one. Yeah.
So where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Yeah. It's always a hard question. It doesn't matter how much you plan for it, because I do, but it changes every day, it feels like. Honestly, I think it doesn't matter for sure where I am as long as I'm in the right spot with myself, period. The industry is so you really don't know what's going to happen. You hope for the best and you push for the best. You work hard for the best, and I definitely do. But I want to be okay if I don't get to what some people may classify as making it. I think for me, making it is, of course, being happy. But I like business and stuff, so I already kind of reach outside of the music industry. So 5 years, I want to be. It's so so hard to think of a specific place. I want to be happy in all the business decisions that I make from this point on.
Okay.
Yep.
So, so I'm guessing are you talking about business aspect, like you want to manage yourself, so you can basically be your own team. You can rely on yourself to make all the deals and take care of the behind the scenes work, like in that aspect.
Well, I kind of do that now. Like right now, I just have a team, but I mean, I manage everybody. But when I say business, I mean like I'm interested in fashion. I'm interested, like I said, in film. I eventually do want to have my own production company, and like record label. But I also like endorsements and all that stuff. All that stuff.
Okay.
That is me.
So like you want to be the next like mega icon.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's it right there.
So that means that so you also believe that it is important to also market yourself as an artist, because nowadays you can't just have the nice singing voice.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. Like for me, like it's really frustrating when I see other artists, even now, who are lazy. Honestly, just blunt about it, are lazy and don't want to do the marketing. They're like, oh, I just get somebody else to do that for them. Especially because I know how many times really that I cried trying to figure all this stuff out and learning this stuff and all the hell I put myself through to even get to it. Like I can remember being in college and I was taking music arts, but I would miss classes because I had to get things in order. There were some things that wasn't right and I had to take care of them. I didn't have a team at that time, and it was really frustrating. So when I hear artists who don't even pay attention to that, who just are like, no, I just want to focus on the art. I get it, but it's different today. You really got to put in the work. You have to put in the work. And someone who really was like, I guess kind of threw me, I don't even think he knows, but threw me the acknowledgement at the time that I needed it was Owen. He was just like, man, like I see the work that you're putting in, all the work that you're putting in, that alone makes you different than a lot of the other artists here, but also in the world, period. A lot of people aren't willing to put in the work. It's one thing to be talented. It's another thing to really focus on the things that talent won't matter to, the marketing and all of that stuff. And so, yeah, I believe that 100%.
Because I remember one thing he said was that the more you know what to do, the more respect you'll earn. Within this business.
Yeah, big time.
That's great that you're doing that.
Big time, yeah. And I see that too. I see it from other artists. They say it all the time, and it's just like, well, thank you. I appreciate that though, and I also like to try to help everybody else as well. just even with the contacts and stuff like that. I try my best to, but you can only help people who want to be helped. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How do you find using social media to I see it as kind of like the free marketing world where you can put yourself out there, and the more interesting stuff you put out, hopefully you'll gather more people. It's not always the case, but
Yeah.
how do you find using social media to kind of put your image out there?
Yeah, honestly, it's great. You can really control the narrative. You have the choice of what you want to kind of put out there through your own networks and stuff like that. People go crazy, and I've been one of those people too. Be like, I'm gonna post every day, every single day.
Yeah.
That's a career. Like that was a career. Like, and I would do it. I would do it, and sometimes it didn't feel like it was worth it. I don't do that now. Because that's a career.
It's hard.
It's
it
a
has to be
career.
a perfect day.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
gotta have a perfect outfit, everything.
Yeah, and I had it down to a T. The time I know they like this filter. I know they like. I really studied.
So you went deep
I'm
into the
telling-
analytics.
Yeah.
You guys, I'm telling you, like when I say like I really was putting in the work to do all that stuff, I was really digging deep into it to understand Instagram analytics that are different from Facebook analytics and all of the different ones. I did all of it, and I would post every day. But you really don't have to do you really don't have to post every day. You really don't, and you really don't have to do that every day. But it's a great way to kind of put yourself out there. Whereas back then, you really just had to be really, really good, and then some people were chosen. The downside to it, I think, is that now the industry is oversaturated almost. Like there's a lot of people who aren't really fully talented that kind of get in the way of the people who are really actually putting in the work and the time to really train and all that stuff. But it's great. It's great.
So yeah, I noticed that you engage with your audiences through. I noticed that on your stories you do a lot of Instagram polls.
Yeah.
It's like never have I ever's and all that stuff. I'm kind of guilty. I do participate in some of the topics are cool, but yeah.
Yeah, I kind of just started those a little while ago, and really it was just, I just did it one day, and people were like, oh, how come there's no more? We want more. And they'd be like, how come there's, just kind of asking me where they are, and I wouldn't have anything for a while because it wasn't something, I just did it. And I found that it would be a good way to kind of have fun with it, but also get to know the people who are following me.
Yeah.
So I would look at everybody who did. So I saw you, but I would look at everybody who did it, and I would kind of really study what they like and stuff, and that would lead to the next one. I really started to get into it religiously, and I would do it 5 days a week.
Yeah.
So I would plan a week ahead of time,
Oh.
and I would have all the pictures and everything saved in my phone. I would just add the poll the day of.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm telling you guys,
Crazy.
I would do that. Yeah, I do a lot of planning. Period. So that was just
That's
me.
good.
Yeah.
Because that gets people to check your page out.
Yeah,
Because I
yeah,
remember one time you were doing favorite Disney Channel show or
Yeah.
Family Channel show. So
yeah.
I like seeing stuff like that on Instagram.
Yeah, it's fun for me too. And then someone gave me the idea. It was a close friend of mine. They're like, how come you don't post your answers at the end? Because I didn't post them before. And they'd be like, I always kind of want to guess what you would like before I get there.
Yeah.
And they were like, so I'd be like, I would want to know the answers. I was like, So I
Yeah.
started to do that, and people really do go back to check the question and be like, really, he like that? They message me, they're mad with me. They're mad with me. They're like, wow, why would you
how
like
could
this?
you like this over
Right,
there?
I can't
Yeah.
believe that type of thing. So it opens up a lot of discussion. Some of the people that I've never met in my life before, and I get to know, just the people that follow me. So I have fun while doing it.
That's so good.
So let's say that you make it to Beyonce level, just like international, world name, household name. Let's say Beyonce plus Oprah level together.
Oprah.
That's a big level.
It's
Oh my,
huge.
could you imagine?
Will you still be trying as hard as you can to still interact with your fans, try to like reach out to them, let them know that you're listening to them, you see them in the comments and all that stuff.
Yeah, 100%. I actually think that Beyonce is someone who's really good with that. You know, she doesn't say much publicly, but she gives the fans what they want. I think that's why her following is that way. They want a Destiny's Child reunion. She brings them up during Coachella and the Super Bowl and stuff like that. Like she really does listen to the fans, and when they want something, she gives it to them. She doesn't tell them or she doesn't speak on it or whatever. It's just there. You know,
Yeah.
you
It just happens.
wake up and it's there. But yeah, no, I'll always do that. I'll always do that. And I know that for a fact because I'm always going to be grateful, very grateful, because sometimes you feel like you don't fully deserve it. And I think that allows me to be grateful. Yeah.
Like I find that with artists that I like, and even like smaller creators who do whatever, this and that, I find that if they interact with their fans, I kind of like, you can't stop yourself from liking them just a little bit more, because it's like, oh, they're looking out for the little guy, they're paying attention. I guess it's reassuring and also gratifying to see your idols almost,
Yeah.
or people that you look up to or that you respect, kind of take a look at that, pay attention to you for a quick second, even though it's very brief.
Yeah.
Like I remember, I left a comment on this one guy's page, and then he actually answered, and I didn't expect him to answer.
Yeah.
And then I screenshot it. I was like, wow, I'm always gonna remember this. If
Yeah.
I ever meet him, I'm gonna be like, hey, that time that you favorited my comment or whatever, it means a lot. Even
Yeah.
though it's a very small action, it means a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, like, I'll get like messages here and there, and I know some people and some other artists who don't respond to like messages, but I respond to all of them, every single one of them. I've been invited to weddings of people I've never met in my life before.
To sing there?
No,
Or-
just to be there,
Just
just
to
to be
show up.
there.
Wow.
People have sent me like pregnancy tests of that they're having a baby.
Wait, are they
I'm
trying to say
telling
that
you.
you're the father, or
That's what I thought, because it was sent without context, right? This is probably so long, but it's sent without context. And then they're like, yeah, you have to come and see my baby when you know the baby's born. I've never met this person in my life.
But have you like, communicated with
No.
them?
No.
That's weird.
Yeah. There's a lot of interaction. But anyway, I'm just trying to say that I do appreciate everybody, and I respond to everybody, and I like to have a relationship with the people that follow me, somewhat, as much as I can, as long as it doesn't get crazy, because it has. Yeah.
Like I found out you're the father of my child, so.
Listen, when I saw that pregnancy test, I was like, I'm not gonna lie, I slid over and deleted it because I'm like, this is no mess, I'm not doing that. And then they sent a follow-up message being like, whatever, and then I was like, oh, congratulations, and then, yeah.
don't scare people like that next time.
Right,
Yeah.
you can't just you can't just do that, come on. Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. Thank you for tuning in. This has been Small Talk number 2 with Keonté Beals. Check him out. Links are going to be in the description. And see you later.